I'm not.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
This is another live chat tonight. And we are going to be talking about youth unemployment in Nigeria. I just want to say good evening to all the viewers back home as well. Thanks for joining us tonight. Good evening to all our guests as well. And I'll leave it for my colleagues to do introduction. Dr. Aminu, if you want to start with you, please, with the introduction of our guest.
Yeah, thank you very much, Deji. Good evening, viewers. Welcome to today's program. My name is Dr. Aminu Amadou. I'm one of the coordinators of Nigeria Diaspora Network, UK branch. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, so, Chairman, Mr. Daniel.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name once again is Ofo Okpanachi. Forget the Daniel you're seeing there.
Oh, okay. It's still part of your name.
I love that identity, Ofo, actually.
Nice one.
I am one of the founding founders of Nigeria Diaspora Network, UK branch. Thank you. Nice to have you guys all.
Lexi.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Le and Le Lawal. Yeah, I'm part of Nigerian Diaspora Network in the UK. Thanks for joining us, and yeah.
All right, thank you to everyone. As you can see, we are representing tonight with our T-shirts. So I'm Deji as well. I'm one of the coordinators of the NDN UK chapter. And we have with us our dear guest tonight. We have 2 or 3 guests with us tonight. And we have other guests as well from Nigeria, and some are going to be joining from the United States as well. So in order not to waste much time, I'm going to start with introducing one of the guests. Then I'll leave Dr. Amino to introduce the 2 guests. So the first, one of the guests for tonight is Mr. Adebayo Abayomi. Mr. Adebayo Abayomi is the founder and the director of Drift Advancement Center, Exology Tutors in Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. So Mr. Abayomi has been working, he's been the CEO of the company for over 10 years. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and he's one of the, Mr. Abayomi is still a youth, unless if you want to call yourself an old man. So he's going to be talking with us tonight from the perspective of the way youth, the way we think in Nigeria, and addressing the issues of youth unemployment and the way forward. So I'm pretty sure that we're going to learn a lot from you tonight.
Yeah, it's a pleasure joining you. Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah. So Dr. Amino, over to you.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to introduce the next guest, the person of Amadou Bello. This is someone I've known all my life. And Amadou Bello is a graduate of political science from the Amadou Bello University Zaria, a university that single-handedly provided a president, a VP, lots of governors, a university that's been able to provide more political appointees, more than any other university in Nigeria, all put together. And I'm proud to say I'm an alumni of the same school. So Amadou Bello has worked on a lot of youth programs with the NGOs empowering the youth across the 19 Arewa states. So he has the raw data of what unemployment is in Nigeria at the moment, because he's working with a lot of programs, a lot of projects on that. And at the same time, he's got a degree in good governance and policy writing from South Africa. And he's been able to write a lot of speeches for political appointees. He's one of the people you classify as the back end of politicians. So he's been invited today because he's someone that's very passionate about youth empowerment. And he's a man on ground. Nigeria, and he can be able to tell us what is happening, where we're at, and the things we can do to move forward. Thank you very much.
Okay, over to you, Ofo, to start from your end. Yeah, so
does this. Ask someone else to introduce. Actually, second guest.
Oh, he's still coming in. He's joining. He's not joining yet.
Okay, he's on his way. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So did you continue then?
All right then. So what we're going to be doing tonight is we're just going to be addressing the issues of youth unemployment in Nigeria, because we know this is one of the main areas that we need to discuss on. And as the normal says that, you know, the youth, they are the future. So, but we know when it comes to our dear country, Nigeria, you know, there's it's kind of like a big issue when it comes to youth employment. Hence the reason we came up with this topic to discuss tonight. And obviously we've been able to bring up, you know, guests that will be sharing their own opinions. We've been able to, obviously, we're still waiting for one of the guests anyway. So the questions that we're going to be addressing tonight is obviously related to the youth unemployment in Nigeria. One of the things that we really stand for is we want to be talking more on the solutions. But before you talk on the solutions, there's no way, you still have to address, you know, a little bit of the issues. You know, pressing issues at the moment. So we are going to be talking about a little bit of the issues and what's the way forward so that we can all learn from, you know, youth unemployment in Nigeria. So our first guest, one of our guests tonight, Mr. Abayomi Adebayo, being youth, we just want you to tell us in few words. Obviously, because of the time constraint, we're thinking just an hour today. So if you can just, you know, shed a little bit of light into what do you think the issues are the youth are going through at the moment in Nigeria? What's your own perspective when it comes to youth and unemployment? And how do you think the federal government can help? Let's start with that question for you. Thank you.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. And I would say it's a pleasure joining this great innovative of the Nigerian Diaspora Network in UK chapter. And I will see it as a privilege of being part of the team that will be discussing this vital issue in our country, Nigeria. So quickly, I'll start with the first question, which is the situation of the unemployment in Nigeria as at today. Of course, it's one that is alarming and very disturbing. And the reasons is not far-fetched from the fact that every year, thousands of Nigerian youths are being turned out from university. And there's not balance between the university producing graduates and the actual work, the actual places for these graduates to work. So this is one of the major area that I would like to talk from. Like every year, you have thousands of Nigerian youths graduating from various universities, starting from the privates, the public, and the monotechnics and the likes. But then there are no places for these places to what they have learned. There are no places for them to practice. The large number of students cannot match the working places we have in Nigeria. And that's a big concern for us. And that's what we're facing at the moment now. And from my own statistics, I think I might not be right on these statistics, but then I could just to make us get something very concrete or something to just note down. I could say maybe 100 graduates to ratio 1 of where they could work. You can see that's a problem. That you can say that 100 students graduating one of them can only say they can get a job in Nigeria. And you can see that large number of volume of people that will be unemployed. So it's very disturbing, like I said initially. But then going to the second question, which is the effects is, of course, obviously is one of what we've seen around. From it has social effects, it have economic effect as well. The economic effect is that, of course, Nigeria cannot. It's not really helping. It's just so. Would I say the time frame we have will might not be make me to be able to go into details, because talking about from the aspect of the economy aspects, a country that wants to grow needs the labor force, obviously. And what do you mean by the labor force? We were talking about this youth that are ready to work, and they are ready to contribute what you have learned in school to the growth of the country. But then the resources to make use of these skills is not there. And we have these vibrant youths who want to make ends meet, who their parents have strive in ensuring that they get them through university education. And it's not been easy for some parents to do that. So there's a lot of pressure on these youths on trying to make sure that they get something done, and just force them into the various unforeseen situation that we found some youths that have engaged in. Cybercrime is one of them, prostitution. Um, you talk about thuggery, you talk about insurgencies that is uncalled for, yeah, banditry and the likes.
So, Mr. Yomi,
Yes.
sorry to cut in here, because I've been able to write down one or two questions from your points. Now,
Yes.
I just want to ask you before we move on to our next guest.
Okay.
You said that the vibe I'm getting from you is that the youth, they are ready to work, but the jobs are not there.
Yes.
Is it that the youth are ready to work, or they are not ready to work? And if I'm saying work, I'm saying working passionately. If you understand
Yes.
what I mean. Are you
Yes.
sure the youth are ready to work passionately, or they just don't want to work? So which one is it?
No, the truth about this is this. I would like to give a direct answer to that. The youths are obviously ready to work,
Okay.
because it wouldn't make sense, because every youth know that they need to earn a living. And the only way you could do that is by working.
Okay.
So I can say categorically that the out of 100 youth, 90% of them are ready and are willing to get a job.
Okay, good. Thanks for
Yes.
that answer, because I just thought
Yeah.
to clarify that, because there was a time
Yeah.
that all this idea of youth are lazy or not lazy. So I just thought to clarify that from
Yes, we could talk extensively on that as well, from what that statement actually mean.
Okay.
So if there's time, I can elaborate on what my opinion on that statement means.
Okay, we'll come
That
back.
the youth are lazy. Yes.
Thank you for that. Dr.
Yeah.
With you. Thank you, Mr. We have bros in the house as well, Mr. Wale Astro. Thank you for joining us tonight. All right, over to you, Dr. Amina.
Yeah, thanks, UBG. So my next question will be for Ahmad Bello. So yeah, you as a man and as a youth on ground, how would you describe the rate of youth unemployment in Nigeria?
I think you're muted.
You're mute.
Hello.
Good evening, everybody, once again.
Okay.
The youth unemployment in Nigeria, it's so alarming. It's a very serious issue at hand. And for me, youth unemployment, we could refer that to be when the youth labor force who are able to work and willing, but they don't have access to job. So, and that youth unemployment for me has a negative effect on the social, economic, and political values of us Nigerians as a people. And it is so dangerous in the sense that, hello, am I on?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Go on.
It is so dangerous and sends a wrong signals to every segment in Nigerian state. And you all agree with me that the youths, just like somebody rightly pointed out, youths are the backbone on every society in the summer, especially if we want to narrow it down to Nigeria, and they constitute the active part of Nigerian population. And you all agree with me again that the Nigeria National Bureau for Statistics brought out a data then, I think in this quarter of this year, that over 50% of Nigeria youths are employed. And you know that's very, very high. And it's very, very dangerous to us as a people. That is to tell us that we're all sitting on a time bomb waiting to explode. Believe you me, if it explodes, that means it's going to be so devastating. And it's not all about Nigeria. Nigeria being a big brother that it is. When Nigeria sneezes, a lot of African countries catch cold. It will all have a reciprocal effect to our neighboring African countries. I'm pointing that Nigeria has over 200 million population. That makes us giant of Africa. You all agree with me that. So, and this has brought us to a very tight situation that we are now in this country. Just like somebody rightly pointed out that the banditry, cybercrime, prostitution, and stuff like that. And it has also raised tension between the haves and those that do not have again. Communal clashes because these youths are not engaged. And by extension again, you all agree with me again that these youths now that really want to work, but probably there are not enough jobs for them to come into the sector. However, youth unemployment is not a new phenomenon. It has been there even in the 70s, even when Nigeria had its own oil boom. We still had issue of youth unemployment, though it was down low, I think like less than 6%.
Is it frozen?
Yeah, I think we lost. We lost
him.
Yeah, that's true. Idea from university, the skilled and unskilled people too as well. Hello, am I back?
I think you're muted, did you?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes,
now, yeah.
we can hear you. Yes, now we can hear you.
So the army that sends a wrong signals for us. And
sorry, I think your video, you need to change the direction of your video to.
We're seeing your laptop.
Yeah, we're seeing your laptop instead of your face.
Yeah. How about now?
Yeah, we're still seeing your laptop.
We're only seeing your laptop. We can't see your face.
I don't know what's happening. Sorry about that.
Anyway, speak on. So speak on that.
I think your camera. You turned your camera to the the back camera.
You turned the back camera. Yeah, straight to the front.
You swapped your camera.
You're using your
camera.
Phone, isn't it?
Okay.
So you just need to press it on the
screen. Swap just switch your camera back to the face front camera.
Or you can just carry on for now.
Okay, let me see. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because of time, you can just carry on talking so you can figure out this thing later.
Okay, so that's it. So you can all hear me?
Yeah. Loud and clear.
Okay. So that will now, for me,
back on
there. If we don't really work against that, that has a tendency of undermining Nigerian democracy, which I'm sure that we will not want to undermine our democracy because we pay so much to get us where we are today. So I think that is all I have to start now. Maybe as we go on, and we have more inputs. So the rate so far, it's so alarming. And we all need to work together, both those in diaspora to really make, in fact, if you ask me, I don't know if that should be, the way forward, I think somebody asked initially is we need to create a public wealth, you understand? It's not about the government alone, because the Nigerian government, okay, or should I?
We'll come to that later, but there's something you said that really caught me. You said the replica effect from Nigeria getting to the rest of African countries. So I wanted to know more. How is that possible for the unemployment rate in Nigeria affecting like neighboring countries?
Okay, fine. You know, Nigeria, many African countries are looking up to Nigeria, even in as much as we have aids from the Western world, but Nigeria is still regarded as a big brother. Look at in other intervention in South Africa, the ECOWAS, ECOMOG, then when Nigeria played a lot of role in giving Liberia their democracy today. We supported South Africa as well. Look at so many interventions in Mali, Cote d'Ivoire, Congo, stuff like that, Gambia. They're all relying on Nigeria as a big brother. We assist them in aid, support their military armament and stuff. So when it's burning in Nigeria, it goes down there too, because there will be no aid definitely to come from Nigeria to them too as well. So that's why you see that every African country president now, more especially in West Africa, that come on board, the next thing you see them in Abuja to come and pay solidarity. You get. So being apart from our bordering nations like the Niger, Benin Republic and stuff like that, when it's hitting so much, we need to start, a lot of immigrants will start moving back to it now. As it is now, some of these banditry that we're hitting in states like Sokoto, Bedugri, some of our Nigerians have gone refugee into Niger country, which has really impacted negatively to the economic status of those countries too as well. You see, so by and large, the situation Nigeria has gotten itself by both economical and military armament starts Africa, which they are looking up on us. So the moment we don't get it right now, definitely it will have a negative effect on those African countries, because there will be nobody to come to their aid when there is military intervention. There will be nobody to come to their aid when they've gone wrong in their election to say, no, you sit down there. There's no big brother to watch their back there as well. So that's why it's that apart from the international communities, African countries, Nigeria is so strategic that everybody really wants to know what's happening in Africa. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. So I think I'll pass it on to Ofo. Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much, Amadou Bello. That was quite insightful, and I agree with you completely that Nigeria is actually a big brother to the rest of Africa countries. If anything happens in Nigeria, the ripple effect will affect every single other African country, and of course, I agree with you, and this is why we must do everything possible to make sure that Nigeria doesn't fail. Because if Nigeria fails, every other African country will probably fall. It is not, we can cannot be economical with that truth, so to say. But this is now, that will take me to the next question, and I'll probably will pass this question to, okay, I can't see him anymore. Is he gone?
That's Emmanuel, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to be joining us again.
I can't see him anymore. Okay, anyway, I want to quickly see if I can introduce Bode Arewa. Is Bode Arewa, are you here? Can you hear us? Hello, Mr. Bode, can you hear us? Okay, Bode is not here.
I think the mic is not yet. It's not active.
Yeah, Bode is not here. Wale Hastrop, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, interesting. Just wanted to be sure that
we
just wanted to be sure that you're there. But Bode Arewa is currently not. I'm not sure is there, but it's logged in. My next question would have been for the first guest that spoke, but we don't have him at the moment. So I think I'm going to throw back the question back to Amadou Bello one more time.
Okay.
To speak to us and what you think. And so, and the question is related to what you've talked about already. Now, like Deji said earlier, we are more of a solution-oriented group. What do you think, and how do you think that Nigeria can tackle the issue of unemployment?
All right, thank you very much again. For me, I think we have a lot of, there should be a lot of approach to this. And the first most important thing is there should be sincerity on the part of government. And secondly, we as the people, we should have an own bit. So it has to be a collective effort. But first, the government has to set the platform for other people to key in, So for me, one, I will say the federal government should. Are you all listening to? Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Go ahead, please.
For me, the government has to draw a plan, at least a 5-year or 10 years road plan for the youths on how they really want to engage the youths. You understand? There should be a plan, because if you see other Western world, other countries that have gotten it right, you find out that they always have a plan, 5-10 years plan for their people. Nobody is sure of being living up to 5 years, but what it gives you is that there is hope. Hope. Economy is based on hope. People live based on hope. So the youths, the government has to build hope, trust for these youths. There should be this self-orientation again, trying to give these youths sense of belonging. And now they go back to the drawing board. Okay, now there should be a immediate plan, medium plan, and long-term plan for the government. That's, for me, that's why I say that there should be a 5-year plan to start with, policies on how to empower the youth, how to create these jobs. But I'm afraid to say that the government that we have today, every government come go, they play lip services over creation of job. I'm not mind you that that we have over 200 million population, and if the youths, over 50% of them are gainfully not employed, you know what that means? The jobs the government are creating does not commiserate with the level of youths that we have on the ground. You see, so that's why that the government has to sit down and write out a plan on how to take these youths off the street. And secondly, again, for me, there should be idea about vocational training, you understand? Overhaul our school curriculum too as well, so that you find out that some of these are subjects, lectures that we run now, do not really merge with the 21st century, with the realities on ground or what's happened instead. So the federal government needs to bring the Federal Ministry of Education, Science, if possible, National Directorate for Employment. Let's sit down and see how we can make our youths skillful, let them have a vocational training. It's not all about having a white collar job. You understand? What can you do? Science has to come in. You know, we should now think outside the box now, not based on paper certification and what have you, understand? So, and thirdly again, corruption. Corruption has eaten so deep to the fabric of our society. You find that the government will come out with policies on how to empower these youths. At the end of the day, these monies have been siphoned, stocked abroad. I can give you an example. When we had the issue of this amnesty product in the Niger Delta, then we have the issue, the likes of the special advisors then on Niger Delta and stuff. The monies that we are appropriated to empower these Niger Delta guys, youths and stuff like that, find its way to America, starting abroad, which American government still confirmed one time about some of the special advisor on national amnesty program or stuff like this. Money were cut away. You see, so at the end of the day, you find out the aim is defeated. So the government has to sit up again to find out that we sanction people that try to steal or embezzle this money to serve as a deterrent to all this for other guys that will come on board again. And again, I'll suggest again that this National Youth Service Corps that we have today now that is running is a very beautiful program. After the Civil War, they try to reintegrate Nigeria and stuff. But we should go beyond one year service, go there, do their youth service. For me, I'll propose that the Ministry of Youths should sit down with the NYSC board and how do we make use of these youth corps members, move them to the farm, use them to grow our agricultural sector, mechanize farming. You see, we should gainfully use them so that they can produce food for Nigeria. If we have so much, then we cannot export. Taking them to offices, go and do their own. We should utilize these youths there. At least by the time they are done with the NYSC, they should have produced enough food, or in terms of agricultural science and stuff like that, to be self-reliant and not coming out trying to see what they want to do and how they want to get white-collar jobs. Because the truth is that there are no white-collar jobs anywhere in this country. That's just the truth. Governments are thinking of trying to bring mage parastatals because we have a bloated civil service now. You find out that 3-4 MDAs are doing same job. So according to a recent report then to the federal government is that the federal side, they need to bring down some MDAs, make them. And when they make them, my brother, that means a lot of people will still be out of jobs as well. You see, so, and a lot needs to be done, that's just the truth. And the government itself on its own again should create that enabling environment, you understand? Because still, if the government do not create an enabling environment, foreign direct investments will not come in. And you believe me that when FDI comes into this country, they create jobs, they bring money to this economy. But today that insecurity is there, who will want to bring in this economy? Our economy is not, the truth is that nobody planned with African economy apart from Nigeria. Nobody planned with our economy because without data is zero. Nothing works in this country. That's why you see that today now, you will never see an American and an African specs of vehicle. You can never see that. You can always see a Gulf specification, American specification, Europe specification, none for Nigeria, none for Africa, because nobody planned with our economy, you understand? So that's why we need to look inward again and see how we can work on all these things too as well. And above all, Nigerian government should come, private sectors should come on board, and you guys too in diaspora should come in and see how we can create public wealth. Because when we create this public wealth, rather than individual wealth, when we create public wealth, you enrich everybody. But when you create individual wealth, you impoverish everybody. So by the time we run all this in Nigeria, will be better for us. Although it's not going to be easy, but at least it's a step in the right direction when we start with that rolling. At least sooner or later, we'll be out of there. But the bottom line is that government needs to look inward and really, if they're really sincere, and if they really know what is coming in front there, they have to sit down and really have a road plan, a policy plan for Nigerian youths, because that is enough disaster that will mar our existence as a people. Thank you.
I mean, I must say, Ahmad Bello, you've done justice to that question, and I can't agree with you any less. I quickly want to contribute to what you've said, and in agreement to what you said, that there is nowhere in the world where government creates all the jobs for its citizens or her citizens. I'm going to use UK for example. From statistics, UK government as a government itself, I think the population of people employed by government itself in this country is not up to 15%. The remaining 85% are private sectors, self-employment, and what have you. I mean that is how this economy basically is being run. So in other words, the economy of this country is run by private sector, is basically prospering on private businesses and not government. But in the other side of the world, like our country, what we have, I mean, I started taking interest in Nigeria. I started taking interest in the level of unemployment in Nigeria, and I think in 2015, when I observed and I tried to follow up the budget of 2015, I won't forget, I think the budget there was about $9.something billion or so, for $9.something billion for the budget. And this was a budget for over 200 million people. And in that budget, the current expenditure for that budget was over 60%. You know, recurrent expenditure was over 60%, while capital budget was less than 40%. And so at that time, I'm like, okay, I want to know more. What is this all about? And I see that Nigerian government used more than half of the entire budget. This is a budget meant for 200 million people, you know. More than half of that budget is to pay salaries.
That's right.
You get what I mean? More than half of that budget is to pay salaries. Then the remaining less than 0.5% of that budget was what was budgeted to pay to build roads, to build hospitals, for every other infrastructure you can think of, you know.
Sorry, Daniel, if you say salaries, do you mean all the salaries?
All salaries, just to pay salaries.
So not owing any staff, is that what you mean?
No,
even at that they owe.
Even they are even owing.
They're still.
You understand? Even at that, they are still owing. You understand? And more than 60% of that budget. And if I say in 2015, that was the year I started following it, and it will shock you that the very first time that the recorded expenditure is not more than the capital project is this last budget that they just presented. So in other words, since Nigeria returned from democracy, Nigeria has been using more than half of its budget every year to pay salaries. So, bros, there is no magic in it. There is nowhere around the world where a government is run like that. And this is because everybody wants to work for government. Everybody wants to work for government. And a country where everybody wants to work for government, that country cannot progress. That country cannot move to anywhere. You know, now, and that takes me to the point you made, whereby you said government needs to create enabling environment, you know, and this is where we need a working government. A working government, a government that knows what it takes to create enabling environment, a government that knows that government itself is not all about profit making, but it's all about meeting the needs of the people. So in other words, when you are setting up an agency and the first assignment given to that agency is how to make money, that is number one sign of failure, you know, because what that means is that the agencies will start looking for how to make private investors, how to make difficult, as in the private investors who are coming to invest in your country, the level of what it takes for them to establish their business, the hurdles they need to cross is so difficult that, you know, they wouldn't want to embark in setting up business in your country. As recent as last week, what is it called? The president of the Bank of Africa was talking on the Adewumi was saying that the Nigeria seaport shouldn't be for profit making. It shouldn't really be for profit making. It should be easy for people to bring in stuff, clear and do, and as in, because this is the only port, this is the only place where direct investors, where foreign goods comes into. So when a government makes doing business in such environments so difficult, it scares investors away. You know, so we really want to encourage our government to create an enabling environment whereby people will be able to come in easily, you know, to invest without too much hustle. You know, I would just want to say this. I made a post some times ago on Facebook, and I said, if for you to go to South Africa from UK, you don't need a visa. If you are a British citizen to go to South Africa, you don't need a visa. But if you are a South African citizen coming to the UK, you need a visa. I'm like, why can't UK balance things? If South Africa are generous to give free entry to British citizens, why can't British government make things easy for South African? And somebody make a point. Somebody said that, oh, South Africans are smart because they know that UK don't need their own money, but they need UK money. So the best thing to do is to make entry to South Africa easy for British citizens, because South Africa is all about tourism and all that. So they make life easy for South African tourists to come to South Africa, bring in your money. If UK say they don't want to make things easy for us, then that is fine because they don't need our money. And I picked something from there. these are some of the incentives. You know, if you want people to come and invest in your country, you need to make it easy for people to come and invest, because there is no government that can actually employ everybody. I think I'm going to leave it there. I think Dr. Modu will take up the next question to our next guest. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, by the way, I think they just got a question. Deji, can you ask a question now?
Yeah, I think Daniel actually answered it for me, because when Mr. Amadu was talking about people in diaspora to also invest, I think it's not that people don't want to, it's just the enabling environment that Daniel just spoke about. Some people really actually want to invest back home. But I think it's just all these factors that, sometimes the way the federal government would frustrate you, sorry, I just have to say, you'd be like, what's going on? Sometimes there's no regulation for some sectors. So you are investing, you are not even sure about, they can just come today to say, okay, we are changing the law and there's nothing you're going to do about it, So all your investments will just go down the drain.
Yeah,
so
inconsistency in government policy.
Yeah, that's the thing, so sometimes it's not stable. Like in some advanced country now, if they want to come up with a policy, they will say it first so that you are ready. You're going to be prepared to, okay, do I need to take my money or just leave it there? So it's not like that back home, unfortunately. And if you're talking about these people in diaspora, they want to see what they are investing in. Do you understand? If you say come and invest, why do I have to come and invest? If I want to go into agriculture now, the news we are hearing is that the bandits or whatever, or the Fulanis, they make it difficult for the farm. So things like that, it will discourage people, especially when we are not on ground. Because some people on ground will be like, oh, it's not that bad. But you can't blame the social media, because that's the best way by which you can, hear what is going on. So just like I said, that was the question I was going to ask. But I think
so. I'll take it from there now. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yomi, I think Yomi is back on, and I would like to direct the next question to him. Can you hear me, Yomi?
Yeah, I can hear you live. And sorry, my network went off, but I'm back on now.
Yeah, it's good to have you back, because we have been talking about government, and we can tell as well. The government has a huge role to play in making this unemployment work, because they have to create policies and make an enabling environment. But you, as a business owner, and I know the private sector, they create jobs as well. Like here in the UK, we have private sector is huge. And we have like self-employed people, so that makes it easy for money to flow and people to be employed. So I'm thinking, from your perspective now, being the man in that field and everything, how do you think you guys in the private sector can help in fighting this problem of unemployment in Nigeria? So
sorry, I'm back again. My network went bad, and I hope I've not missed a huge part of this great discussion. So to answer this question, the private sector is actually the driving force to the solution of the unemployment currently in Nigeria as of today. So I would say that the private companies or the private sectors, I think they are contributing about, if not 30 to 40% of trying to reduce the rate of unemployment in Nigeria. And it's a fact, if not for the inputs of the private sector trying to create jobs for these youths, things could have gone so worst. Like personally, my own organization, we try as much as possible to see these youths that are actually passionate in working. And I think Mr. Didi rightly said, and I'm sure the question is trying to ask me is that, are these youths actually ready to work? And as a private person, I can tell very well that a whole lot of them that are actually seeking for this job, but they can't get it. So from experience, we try as much as possible. I'm talking of my own organization now, to try to see how we can bring in these young stars with full potentials, especially what they have learned from the university. So I'm saying now, let me speak broadly now, that private sectors can actually do a lot. They can actually do a lot, but then there are challenges on the aspect of the private sectors as well, because well, being having knowing that the aim of every private organization is to make profit, and bringing too much there's little in which this private organization can do. They can't just admit so many. Even I can tell what is happening right now in the country, that some private organizations have to lay off some workers because they can't meet up with their salaries, and you won't blame them. From our discussions now, we find that government policies, inconsistency in government policies affect a lot of private sectors, and so we should not actually look at it's something the private and the government should need to work hand in hand. Okay, the private sectors, of course, are willing to employ these youths because every private sector understands that one of the things that can make your work, your business grow, of course, you need the labor force. But then they are willing to employ. But then do they have the strength? Does the government policies, does government laws is helping in ensuring that the private sector can take as many as possible? No. So in summary, the private sectors need to work hand in hand with governments, and the government also needs to work hand in hand with them to ensure that this issue can well be addressed.
Oh, thank you, and that's very insightful. So, from what I can gather, everything still boils down to the government, because
exactly
the government can still frustrate the private sector, and they don't get to do so much work.
Yes, because you pay tax, they as long as they see you up and running, they keep coming. You need to pay this, you need to pay that, but then it will affect all the other factors and other runnings of the business. So everything still boils down on the government coming together and working in collaboration with the private sectors and making this sector, suitable to cushion this effect of unemployment, youth unemployment.
Well, if I can ask you specifically,
yes,
what are like the major challenges that's preventing you people from expanding to be able to bring in more youths into the private sector to work? Because,
well, like I said earlier, every private business organization wants to expand, but then you don't have the liberty to just decide on what on things you need to do. Everything still boils down on ensuring you're going in line with the government policies, ensuring that you're not just taking decision on your own, because the government is still the driving force of the economy. They are still in the front run, or in the front line of driving the economy. So we always want, for my organization, we always want to expand. We always want to do this, but then there are a whole lot of things that governments have put in place that is actually not helping us. That's actually not helping the private sector to want to explore that expansion in such a way that will make us to have, or to increase the rate of employment in private sector. So I think every business wants to expand. There's no doubt about that. But then you cannot just be doing that. You have to also put in place, consider the government policies in ensuring that you do that as well. So I think the factors is still boils down on the government ensuring that it makes private sector giving that the private sector the leverage, the opportunity to explore more avenues in which they can increase their employee in their organizations.
Well, that's very insightful. Thank you very much. At least it's good to hear from you first time.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna pass the next question to Ahmad Bello, because you can see every problem in this country is kind of hydra-headed. And I'm thinking, in your own opinion, having worked with different youths and you've placed people in different jobs with the projects you've worked on, so do you think if we tackle this problem of unemployment, would it help in fighting insecurity issues that we have in Nigeria at the moment?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Thank you very much, Doctor. The truth is that if we tackle the issue of youth unemployment, it would drastically reduce the insecurity we're facing now in this country, because most of these people involved that are being used, so to speak, are youths. They are within the ranges of, within some of them 18 to like 40 thereabouts. These are the people they use in this banditry. You get? So if we really tackle the issue of this, the youth unemployment, believe you me, the statistic from the data we have now, over 50% will drastically reduce, and Nigeria will be better for us all. And if you ask me, where the government, one of the cardinal function of a government, where it resides its legitimacy, is protecting its citizens and its territorial borders. So any government that cannot protect its territorial integrity and its citizens lacks legitimacy. And if our government should look inwards and fight the issue of insecurity, this insurgency, a lot of things will normalize in this country. Things will flow. Believe you me, you cannot travel. Imagine from Kaduna to Abuja, you cannot travel with your mind at peace. Less than 1 hour, 30 minutes. Some days ago, the only train that rides from Abuja to Kaduna now was bombed. You see, so these people are moving with impunity. 3 days ago in Sokoto, in a broad daylight, they went to a local government, shot, killed over 600 people. We can't continue this way. Who will want to come and invest in such an economy? Apart from the way of doing business in Nigeria is so difficult. The government are not making things easy. That's why you see that government cannot escape this blame. You understand? They need to set that ball rolling before people will come in. I quite agree that the government cannot do it alone, but the government has to show its sincerity, the political will. They should push. Then we will now keen it. They should be the driver, who will now be the passenger. People will now, a lot of Nigerians are ready to contribute. But then by the time people start seeing the government that they are not sincere from their own part,
yes,
how would they want to come in? The cost of doing business in Nigeria is so high. I'm not a businessman, but at least we all live in this country. A lot of businesses are collapsing every day. You pay tax over 12.5% or thereabout. You get loan. You cannot do business. A lot of ladies here and there. How do you move? There is no power. By the time the many factories or industries check how much the overhead costs on power alone, it's crazy. It's mind-boggling. How can they cope? Go to Kaduna. We used to have about 8 or 9 textile industries in Kaduna. All of them are all shut down. Go to Kano, and textile industry is one of the industries that employ labor, the youths, very well, but they are not functioning. If the one that the context that is even functioning, if they produce their cost, the cost of production is so high, you even prefer to bring those materials from China. It's far cheaper for you in bringing them from China. So they are not creating jobs. It's not possible. You ship, do mortgage, the cost of clearing your item in Apapa, by the time it comes out from there now, you find that there's no profit again. You transfer it to the individual, to the people that buy again. The cost of business is so difficult. So now, if the government, they're sincere, they want to right the wrongs in this country, they should take the lead. One, issue of power. Year in, government will come in, they will budget so many money. Our passenger budget over $16 billion in power. We don't have anything to write home for it. This one come in, they all play lip service. What is the problem? Ajokuta Steel is lying there. If you go to Ajokuta Steel in Kogi State now, this is a sector that can employ not less than 5,000 or more than that youths in Ajokuta. But go there, when you go there, you weep for this country, you cry. A lot of investment have gone down there. And at the end of the day, you find that all this investment, people now use it as a conduit pipe to siphon money. Is it? So that's why you see that I said, if the government now come on board, that they really want to drive us now to the right path, of course, we'll go in. Nigerians fine. When the government is sincere, Nigerians will key in, we'll go in. So now, first of all, the roadmap is go back and address our policies that will work for us. Inconsistency in policy is killing us. This government will start it here. Governance is a continuous process. APC will come in, this one will continue, it will stop it. This one will come in. A lot of youth programs will come on board. By the time Good Luck will start a youth program, APC will come in, they'll say because it's a PDP.
Abolish it.
They plan over there, we're back to square one again. We can't continue like this as a people. It's taxpayer money for crying out loud. Imagine Nigeria now, we celebrate our governors for giving us road. We celebrate our governors for building classrooms.
Water.
Taxpayers' money, not their personal money, for God crying out loud.
Yeah.
The governor will build a project, he will name it after himself. For what? It's not your money, it's taxpayer money. You see, you derive your legitimacy from the people. So
yes,
that's why we need to be speaking up. That's why I'm so happy with this network now, this diaspora network now. The way we are speaking of now, government will be here. We air all these views. And you guys in the diaspora again, we will have a lot of role to play to as well back home. Because by the time you fly up these things there, it has hit in the government there, because every government there do not want people singing bad things about them in the diaspora. Whether you're in UK, you come to your US, all this, but now you guys in the diaspora start hitting the governments here, fighting from above. Because during the military era, then before the military left, a lot of Nigerians went to abroad. They ran to abroad. From there, they were fighting this government from writing, from media, and all these things. They have a real tool to really fight this government too as well. So, and thank God now. I want us again to now conscientize our people again, the need for us to start having our PVCs, you understand? Because we will now be kicking out these people again. And back again, sorry, I'm deviating again. We are going back to the National Assembly to look at the cost of running National Assembly. Look at what the senators and House of Reps earn, for crying out loud. Why can't we think of part-time legislature to reduce costs for this country? It's a way forward. So we spend so much in trying to keep all this instead of creating jobs for our people. So government now should look into entrepreneurship again. How do we bring more funds, more ideas? And recently I know that the Nigerian government, they launched one scheme again, National Youth Employment Scheme, about trying to see how they can bring in, give great jobs for youth. Beautiful scheme, so to speak, but watch it, how will it go? At the end of the day, it might turn out to be a conduit pipe. Money will be embezzled and nothing happens.
Yeah,
that's my problem.
This is the thing.
Nothing happened. So I didn't mean now when this money goes up now, we get these people, they are jailed. It starts as a deterrent. But these people will fly out there. At the end of the day, when they come back, they celebrate them again.
Sorry to cut in, sir. Thank you very much. You've made such a wonderful point. I mean, and this is it's the problem that is recurring all the time. And this is the thing. Government think they can always do this thing by themselves. I mean, there are a lot of palliatives, and government coming up with say, trader money, 5,000 pounds to 5,000 naira to everyone every month. There's another
does
one.
Does that tackle unemployment? Does that tackle borrowers' money? Does it empower? Does that tackle
all those
unemployment?
Empower and all those things. No. And this is the thing. These are just things.
Stipends they're just giving.
These are just stipends to put just to caution the effect of poverty, in the land. This actually does not eradicate poverty at all. Because we have something here in this country. We have what they call benefit, to citizens in this country, but it doesn't stop homelessness. It doesn't stop some of these people going to do gamble or going to do. There are a lot of them that still collect this benefit every fortnight, and they're still really, really, really poor. So it doesn't really eradicate poverty, and that is why, like you said, this is one of the reasons why this organization was actually bettered. So we'll be able to speak, from this angle, from this area, because if we don't have money to give to people back home, and we don't have anything to do in Nigeria, at least we have our voices to give. We have a solution to proffer to the government, as in we'll keep, no matter how tiny our voice is, we believe that with time and with consistency, definitely this will definitely go a long way. Thank you very much, Mr. Amadou Bello, for that very insightful conversation we've had here. We have John Azu. John Azu, are you there? Can you hear us? Okay. Yeah, John is not there. John still can't hear us. So now, I mean, hello. Yeah, John, can you hear us?
Yes, thank you very much for this invite to participate in this important conversation. So I will be asking questions in due course. Thank you very much.
Good. Thank you very much. Nice to know that you are there. You are there with us. Now, this next question, I'm going to throw it within us here, and I'm going to allow Deji to speak to us in few minutes. And Deji, what do you think government should do with your experience living in the diaspora? What advice do you think, candid advice do you think to give to Nigerian government on how to tackle unemployment in Nigeria?
Well, to start with, I think I'm just going to give a straightforward answer because there's no point beating around the bush. I think the answer to that is that the government, they know what to do. Do you understand? They are just not doing it. Let's be sincere. All these things we are talking about today, they know. But because of one word, maybe corruption, they are not doing it.
Exactly.
Like Mr. Amadu said, all the points that he mentioned tonight, about creating jobs, 5 to 10 years plan, it is possible, but PDP will create it, another party will come and change it. Do you understand? So the continuity is not there. So now, how sincere can they be in terms of what they tell, the masses?
Yeah.
It's very easy for me to answer that. I'll be listing points and be saying this is what they need to do, this is what they know already. We have smart people in the government. Do you understand?
Yeah.
If I'm saying smart, it could be true academically or not even academically. A politician that didn't really go to school, very smart. So they know what to do. But the thing that I would say is that how sincere can they be? Because if I tell 1 million points tonight, is it going to change anything? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And it's got to a point that we cannot keep quiet. Yes, I know. But it's just like you're trying to say that, go get me that gold or silver, but you have to pass through the wilderness to get the gold instead of plain road. Do you understand? So what the federal government is doing now is that just keep passing through the wilderness. You won't even get to where the gold is. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's really unfortunate. But if I want to use the experience of, okay, I've been privileged to be here for some time, there are many things that they can do for the youth. Number one, all this distribution of money given to youth. I would rather you teach somebody to know how to catch a fish rather than giving him fish. If you give somebody 100,000, let me say 1 million. In 2 days, the person might spend the money without using it on anything because they don't have the experience on what to use the money for. We've heard some stories about somebody 100,000 naira, they've become millionaires today. But we've heard some stories, 5 million naira, but nothing to show for it. So all these things that federal government, agricultural, whatever scheme that they are doing, I don't even know that maybe they are really doing it. It's not going to work. So what the federal government needs to do, number one, is to be sincere with whatever they are telling us. The continuity has to be there. Whatever they are saying is not what you say. That's why sometimes when politicians are talking, sometimes I switch off. I'm just from my own personal, perspective. Because sometimes when you are talking too much, I switch off. You cannot really buy me because I want to see action, not talking. So if you are just talking, anybody can talk now. But what are they doing? You've heard some people, I don't need to mention them. I will never go to that party in my life. I'm telling you, until Jesus comes, I'll never go. But they've gone to that party today. Do you understand? So I don't have anything against that because I don't know the political stand of the person. But what I'm trying to say is that they just need to be sincere with whatever they are telling the people. They need to create jobs for the youth. Honestly, I'm still a youth. But the thing is that, what's the priority of youth today? That's another question. I cannot answer that because I'm not in Nigeria. So I don't want to say some things that obviously I cannot really answer that. Maybe I will throw that to Yomi on ground. If I say priority, what are the things that they are watching? What are the things they are listening to now? We are here now. We are talking about youth. Do you understand? How many people are really listening to what we are saying now? So that's another question for another day. I know there are many factors in Nigeria that is making the youth to even think that some are even going to drugs. I don't even want to, that's for another day. Do you understand? There are no drugs out there. So I can't kill myself. I want to feel high before you know it. And indirectly, is their future that they are reducing.
Exactly.
The politicians, they are still living large. They are doing their, sending their children abroad. But it's you. Do you understand? So to answer that question, Daniel, we're not going to give up. I'm being real.
If I may contribute to that question, I don't know if I'm permitted. Yeah. You see, it's a beautiful thing to, when there's a problem, I think it's a beautiful thing to first discuss what the problem is. And I think we have now moved to how do we tackle this problem. You see, what I'm on ground, like Mr. Adibayo said, Mr. Digi said, and I think what we need, I don't I don't really talk about politics anyway. I just mind my business. But I've always told people around me this thing. I think what we need in Nigeria, we need an expert. When I mean an expert, and I mean Dr. could enlighten more on this. That for my own part, I'm an educationist, and I know things I've read from the books, and I compare it what this government are doing. They're not just getting it right. That's just the problem. Like if you are over there, I'm sure if in where you are now, you think the government there considers the growth of population in your country to the resources that we have at hand.
Yeah.
Once your resources is not matching your population, there will definitely be a problem. And that's why I'm saying I don't think the government is actually getting it right. If you say you have this money and you want to cushion the effects of poverty today, and you roll out millions of them, you give them 5,000, it will never solve any problem. The reality on ground in Nigeria is that our population is tremendously increasing, and the resources available is not matching up these things. And from my experience in education, once that is happening, there will always be things we're experiencing now. And I'm not sure if this government is aware.
Yeah.
So I would like us to look into this. And if probably any government is listening to us now, have they considered the resources we have on ground? Is it matching our population? The problem of light, I have a friend who just called me from Angola, and he felt like weeping because it's only in Nigeria that he understands that there's no light. That in Angola here, light has not even blinked. And he cited an example that boy, he observed something that he has been on one spot for 1 hour and he has never seen any movement. And that's trying to tell him that the population in this country is so minimal. So if our government are looking at this plan and the solution is planning, we lack planning. All they do is, oh, we're going to come here, they make words, we'll do this, we'll do that. But then it can't work when you're not actually knowing that we are not getting to the root of the problem. There's no doubt Nigeria is a great country. There's no doubt where, like Mr. Diji said, there are people who are great, they are of great mind. There are people who are highly intellectual. If you listen to these politicians, they make good points. But then, do they have policies to implement these things they want to do? I think that's what our major problem is. And the moment they start tackling these things, the moment they start having this planning, a country that fails to plan would definitely fail. And I can tell, I would like to answer one question someone asked earlier, that we youths should have jobs today. Will it solve? It will solve a lot of our problem in Nigeria. The only people the only problem will not that will not solve is now people who are capable of working but do not want to work. That is now what the youth that will be having. People who are able to work, but then they cannot work. So please, if I really I appreciate you, the UK diaspora people. Please, a lot to talk about. Let's talk about planning. What are the things? Like someone asked Mr. Digi, what can you see that is working where you had that is not working here? I'm sure developed countries, they have plans for 10 years. They have plans for years to come. But do Nigeria have plans? I think Good Luck said they have 2020 millennium. Now the present government is talking about, it's because if you don't have a plan, you're definitely going to fail. And from a home perspective, that is the main problem Nigeria is having today. The population is increasing day in, day out. But then resources we have is not matching it. Rather, our politicians make use of this money to do things that are not necessary. And that's creating the problem for our youth today. So I would like to commend them. Some of these politicians that I haven't listened to their speech. They make good speeches. They make good. They make effort in trying to tackle. But is it really being effective? Is it being effective?
Well, just to add to what
yeah.
you're saying about talking,
Yeah.
because
Yes.
there's one thing that's very, very common amongst those Nigerians.
Yes.
We talk a lot and we do
exactly.
little. Talk
Little.
is cheap. Do you understand? Because you look at the Chinese. How many Chinese people have you seen who are motivational speakers?
None. You hardly hear them speak.
But literally every Nigerian, they can talk good game. There's the pastor talking. Everyone is promising us that they can do a lot. The government come in, they'll promise you. It becomes one of the campaign promises. So we really need to bring people who are doers. It's not like they don't know what to do, but they choose not to do it. Even though they're experts, we've seen experts go into government, they still embezzle and move away. So it's like there's an overhaul of the system. So I think it is time for us to start doing rather than talking. And that is the reason why we have brought up things like this with team of professionals. So we sit down, we deliberate on how, just like Amadu said, words like this will get to the point that it begins to sink into the government, because when we talk so much and everything, they'll begin to push them into actions. And that's what this whole thing is all about, bringing in professionals to come and talk and give their views about it. We can share with the world. And we're not planning on stopping, and we are so appreciative for having every one of you here today. I think time is not really on our side at the moment, so we are thinking about rounding off. So I don't know if there's anything anyone wants to say before we wrap up.
Well, so I had many questions in the course of the discussion, and somehow those questions kept getting answered. And so I was like, okay, what do I ask again? So yeah, I think like Doctor said, I'm very pleased to have everyone here today to joining us in this movement, and hopefully we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going, and the words will be heard one day, and there will be changes. We believe in Nigeria, and that's why we're doing this. I think everyone here, we're on the same page, and it will change, and things will change.
Amen.
Thank you everyone for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
So like we always say, we have this talk every 2 weeks.
I think Mr. John is raising up his hand.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. John.
Mr. John, let's hear what you've got to say quickly.
Okay, thank you, sir. I just want to make this comment and then ask a question. We're talking about youth unemployment. The federal government recently, the president announced the recruitment of police constables, 10,000 per year for the next 5 years. And they've already started. But if you look at this, it has been a recurring decimal that when there is tension in the land, there is
a quick
unemployment.
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah,
okay.
We can hear you.
Okay, so whenever this happens, the next resort is to start do recruitment in the police, do recruitment in the civil defense, do recruitment in the army, and sometimes they even do replacement. They just pack in thousands. And the whole thing is keyed or tied to the oil revenue, which the country relies on only. So it appears the country is not productive enough, and the leaders don't have any creative ideas of how to open up the economy. The capacity of the economy should be nothing less than $1 trillion in GDP with 200 million people. But we are still around $450 billion as GDP. That's why our per capita is still very low. So I want to ask the House whether there are any ideas that could be suggested. Do we try to caution or try to advise the government that this resort to this idea of mass recruitment in China, like somebody mentioned, China is production lines, and that's where they do mass recruitment. Production lines. But here there is no production line. It's in offices, which they get in through who and then the oil revenue, the oil market is drying up. So this is difficult to sustain, and now we are borrowing to pay salaries. We are not productive at all. So are there ideas that could be suggested, which we could take out there to say government should look into these ways of creating jobs, not just resorting to this mass recruitment of government sector jobs? Thank you very much.
Well,
do you want to answer?
That's a nice one. Honestly, that's a nice one. For me, I think when the supply of labor outstrips the demand for labor, joblessness setting, and by extension, youth unemployment. I would rather prefer the government doing mass production, recruitment into the productive sector, into science and technology, into entrepreneurship, you understand? So that's the only way we could liberate a lot of people, a lot of youths from unemployment. This massive recruitment in the police, everything will still tie down to the oil revenue and what have you. I don't think it's a way forward, if you ask me. Okay. And moreover, I have a problem with the process these people are being recruited. You find out they end up, they hardly pick up people that have passion for this job. You get, believe you me, when you go down now, you find out that for you to be recruited into a police constable, you have to part with over 600,000 or 700,000 or 500 there to speak to get that police constable, with the salary is no more than 50 or 55,000 naira. You see, so it's a problem. So that's why you see that the issue of this corruption will never end the way if we continue this way. Because anybody now that buys job for 600,000, 700,000, for him, he wants to recoup his investment. When he goes out there, he wants to go harass citizens, extort money from people, because he has just invested money. He needs to recoup. You see, so the problem we have in this country is the process, the way we go about our things. When the foundation is wrong, it sends the wrong precedents too as well. So you can't just continue this way. And at the end of the day, like in the military now, they recruit people in Zaria. In less than 3-4 months, they graduate, they move them to Maiduguri and go and kill them. They are not experienced. They don't have these moments. We're just wasting stuff, we are losing lots of youths every day because of we don't train them very well. You've rendered many people to be widows and what have you. They love their loved ones. They move them to Maiduguri and go and play them. By the time they kill them, finish, they come back again, they recruit on that. And people are going in because of there are no jobs. And if you conduct an opinion poll for these guys that want to go into the police now, you find out that maybe like 50% of them do not really want that job.
They are not going there because they like it.
They just go to the ones that are even working. I want you, maybe I'm sure most of us have visited the police barracks and see how they are living there. Look at their rooms, look at their house, look at what is their welfare, what is their packages. It's not attractive. The ones that are even working, how is their life? Are they better off? And these ones you're assuring people 10,000. What the government that is even telling you every year they want to bring 5,000, 10,000. These policies are not sustainable. They are just saying that 2020 they move. On that one will come in, they start giving on that stories again.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Modu.
My own now will be that for the love and passion you guys have for this country, you believe in Nigeria. That's why we are pushing this. In as much as the government are not hearing, we keep saying this, we keep talking, it will get to a state. Moreover, it's not about the country. We, the followers too, we have our own roles to play. We have our roles. Not only government again, because we as a people too, we have our own problems too as well. People will come in, we always like cutting corners. We'll go this way, you take money. By the time you don't give a policeman money, okay, take me to court. Tomorrow, will he extort money from you?
No. That's a fine place. That's actually a fine place to live in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Modu. I mean, I just want to say just one answer to the question that Mr. John Azu asked. I mean, when he asked that question, that actually blew me away. I'm like, this is a $1 million question, you know.
Yes.
And the simple way I want to answer your question, Mr. Azu, is for Nigeria government to get it right. The only thing Nigerian government needs to get right, and every other thing will fall in places, is to get electricity or power right. I tell you what, you get power right in Nigeria, every businesses will pick up naturally. Exactly. The barber can cut hair and earn money and pay tax and the money recycle within the country. A vulcanizer on the road that you did not value will be able to do his business easily. A hairdresser, salon, a lot of businesses rely on electricity, to run the economy. There is no economy in this world that can do well without electricity. I tell you what, in 2015, I made a post on Facebook. They say when they say Nigeria is the biggest economy in Africa, up to today, I do not believe it. I don't want to agree, because being the biggest economy without electricity is farce. Is just a mirage. South Africa has a population between 45 to 60, 45 to 50 million population, and they generate over 40,000 megawatts of electricity. And Nigeria has a population of over 200 million, and we not generate over 5,000 megawatts. You cannot tell me, that a country that generates such amount of electricity has, I mean, in terms of money, yeah, or GDP, yeah, we could say, but in terms of economy, how viable is the economy? We cannot compare it. When we get electricity right in Nigeria, every other thing will pick up, and Nigeria economy will skyrocket. It will shock you that if Nigeria get power right today, in another 5 years, Nigeria will become among the G20 countries in the world, and there is no doubt about that. Let's just get power right, and every other thing will pick. Thank you very much.
I mind you that the presidency, you are saying that we should get right. Presidency is budgeting over 200 billion. I'm forgetting about 20. So I'm forgetting a huge amount of billion. Let me not put out of context for generator and power in the presidency. So are they sincere to fight get power? The federal government is getting billions of naira for diesel.
All right. You mentioned that as well. That, I mean, in rounding up, is it light?
Mr. Taye is raising hand actually.
Yes.
Mr. Taye is raising hand.
Okay, Mr. Taye.
Are you there, Mr. Taye? Well, in the absence of that, we just round up, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've gone past our time.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Good
Yes,
evening.
if we look at the problem of unemployment, as the speakers have said, actually it is alarming in the country. But now let's look at it from this angle. As part of the effort from the federal government, at least to
Mr. Taye, I think you are gone. We can't hear you anymore. If you can hear us, I think you'll try again. We can't hear you. Okay, while we wait for Mr. Taye, yeah, Mr. Friday Oloko, do you want to add just a minute, please, if you don't mind?
Okay. Go
Aminu,
hands up.
Aminu, I think you can take it off from there. The both cannot hear us. Mr. Friday, if you can hear me, you have 1 minute to make a contribution. Okay, Aminu, I think you can take it off from there. Let's end it then.
Yes, I think there's a very fine place to leave it. We've exhausted this topic. And we just want to say thank you to our guest, Mr. Yomi. It was good to have you today. Thank you very much for your contribution. And that was really insightful. We have a lot to take home.
Yeah,
and
it's a
Mr.
pleasure.
Amadu,
Yeah, thanks, bro.
thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
And
might probably just have a conversation around this topic again. I don't know.
I think we might still have to do because it's not been exhausted. And to the fellow NDN members, thank you very much for your contribution. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Okay. Have a good evening, everyone.
All right.
God bless you all.
God bless.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
And keep doing the good work. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yomi. Thank you very much. It was very, very nice having you, and we learned a lot from you today. Mr. Amodu, you are a family. Thank you very much for your contribution. It was in depth and contribution from you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Lawal, one of us, Aminu, Deji, and Mr. John Azu, Friday Okolo, Mr. Taye, and Hastrop. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us. We'll probably continue on this topic again in our next section, which is about a fortnight from now. Thank you very much, guys.
All right.
Good night.
So, cheers.
Thank you.